Okay, I want to take us on the steps to programming face detection application using Python, as was taught in STEMpedia yesterday. So I'll be taking us through the programming step by step and how we get the result, the required result we want. Okay. What you are seeing here is a PictoBlock interface, and we'll be writing computer programs. So we'll have to go with Python coding. So when you launch the Python code, when you launch the application interface for programming, this is all you see. I'll be leaving Toby here, at least let it be prompting user, telling us what is going on with the camera detection and the rest. In order to program the camera, an individual needs to be conversant with a class, a particular class in PictoBlocks that is responsible for handling all form of camera communication. So to program this screen to be able to dictate someone's face, yes, you need to be very conversant with a class in Python called face detection. Now, I have to start by creating an object of the face detection. And to create an object of face detection, we can go with this. Any name you give it, in as much as you keep referencing it, of course, it will work. So I'm calling my own face detection. And as I said before, I want to create an object of face detection. Okay, my keyboard seems to be hanging. I do hope it will allow me to do this. All right, so having created an object of face detection, this particular variable I just created called face detection will be pointing to the modules or the libraries within the face detection class. And one of the module there in other programming language like C, which I'm very, very conversant with, we always use the word function. So the function, the first function it points to is called the video function. And to invoke the video function within the face detection class, you have to say something like face detection.video. So with this particular function, you can turn on the camera or turn it off. So for now, I'm turning it on. The 0 there represents the transparency level. As you can see my face now, if it is to be the camera, the same interface I'm using to take these images of myself talking, and I set it to 100, you will not be able to see me. So from 0 to 100. So if I should set it at 100, my image will be completely blotted out. So for now, leaving it at 0 because I want my full image to be shown is what I want. You can equally remove that parameter 0. So by default, the class is going to play 0 for you since you did not set anything. So I'm only putting it so that you will know that the face detection video function takes 2 parameters. All right, so after that, there will be need for the camera to be able to create one box to cycle to detect the position of my face. To be able to activate that function, I have to enable the box. And to enable the box, I have to go, okay, that way. So with this particular command, the box that will cycle the person's face will be activated. Then after that, I have to equally set what is called the fidelity level. That is what will be the quality of image received before the camera can work with it. It is rated, so I just have to say set threshold 0.4. The value moves from 0 to 1. So 0.4 is like the average, taking it not exactly what average, but it's taken like an average. So once the transparency is to some extent okay, let the system continue. So with these 3 commands, or will I say 4, the first one is creation of the object that points to the face detection class, then activating the video function, enabling the box, and also setting the threshold. We are now ready to monitor or to analyze whatever the camera is capturing. So because I'm interested in seeing the facial expression of someone, whether the person is sad, whether the person is happy, and the rest, not just a single time capturing, I need to use a kind of a loop, an infinite loop, to be able to keep checking, keep checking, keep checking, keep checking, and the rest. So in order to keep checking, I have to create a loop. So we are using while loop. And since we want it to be infinite loop, we go with while true. While will always be true unless you break out. I'm not a fan of having an infinite loop, but most time in embedded system, you can't do without that. But for your computer system, infinite loop disturbs it to some extent. But we don't have option. But I will add a certain program capable of forcing me out of the infinite loop, if I so wish. So I will write a simple program that will help me to exit this infinite loop at will. But without that code, this is going to be an infinite loop, and you can only exit when you shut down the system. So now that we are within the infinite loop, it is time to analyze the camera. And to do that, we have to use the object we created from the beginning, face detection dot analyze camera. That's all. So that particular function will begin to analyze the camera. Now, each time it takes picture and analyze the person's face, it is time for it to say face have been detected or face have not been detected. If face has been detected, let the system tell us what is the facial expression. If face have not been detected, let the system tell us face have not been detected. So for me to be able to take cognizance of these 2 functions, these 2 operations, I have to use a term if. So within the if, I have to call another function within the face detection class. The function name is count. Now, this function actually keep track of, if you go now, the function will be 0 since face has not been detected. But as soon as face is detected, the function will go 1, 2, 3 upward. So we are using this if statement to detect that our image has been captured using the count function. So once image has been captured, you will now use the sprite to say what is going on. So we say sprite or say, they have equally written a particular function that does the detection of the mood of the person or the facial expression. So we are not even stressing ourselves trying to write additional code to be able to say whether the person is happy, the person is sad, angry, and the rest, or surprised. So the function already created is called expression. So all I just need to do is to use my object and point to the expression function. And that does the trick. With this expression function, the system will be able to tell us the person's mood at that instant. So what if the camera did not capture any image? And that takes us to the else. So the system should just tell us no image has been, no face detected. So no face detected. All right. So now that we are here, I equally said something that I would want to be able to exit this loop at will. For me to do that, when the application says this, let it just do it for like 2 seconds. Let this prompt or this alert kind of, let it just stand for like 2 seconds, enable me prompt the user if he or she wish to end the, or to turn off the camera. So this one now is to hold the up arrow key to turn on the camera. So what I want is, once that up arrow key is being held, let the camera be turned on. And to be able to do that, okay, let me also prompt this, let this one show for just 2 seconds also. I think these 2 seconds I'm using is becoming too much. I think let me go with 1 second and equally go with 1 second for this one. It's just a prompt. So I will now say something like, if sprite dot is key pressed. So with this command, I will be able to be monitoring when the arrow key has been pressed. And as soon as the arrow key has been pressed, this is if I have to terminate it with a colon. All right. So once the arrow key has been touched, we'll now call the face detection video again, but this time around, our target is to turn it off. Okay, so I think that is all about face detection. There's nothing much. It's a very, very simple program that anybody should be able to do. All right, because of, so it is time to test our program to see if it is working. And to be able to do that, we will have to turn off this particular camera. So I have to turn off that particular camera before I can, and make sure also you are in a well illuminated environment. So another factor that can affect this is if you are in a very, very poorly illuminated environment. So as you can see, it can dictate when I'm happy, can dictate when I'm surprised, and so on and so forth. So that is how the program runs. To exit the loop, I have to use the up arrow key. You can see I have not actually successfully exited the loop. The reason being that I did not add break. So break is a command that helps us to exit an infinite loop or any form of loop, not only infinite loop, any form of loop. So with this break now, I think my arrow key should work perfectly well now. And to test this program, I have to turn off this other camera so that the other one can now work. Okay, so you can see the same thing. So let me check if my up arrow key can bring me out of the loop. And of course, it did actually brought me out of the loop. Okay, thank you, STEMpedia, for all you do. I'm really enjoying the class. Bye-bye.